to the red velvet cookie recipe. So it starts with 1 box of red velvet cake mix. I happen to love red velvet anything. My wedding cake was actually a red velvet wedding cake years and years and years ago when Bob and I got married. We had a red velvet wedding cake. So red velvet cake is something I grew up with, and they didn't used to make red velvet cake mixes, so now that they do, it makes things really easy. So you don't want to follow the recipe on the back of the box for these cookies. You want to follow my recipe. So 1 box of red velvet cake mix, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/2 cup of oil, either vegetable or canola oil, and 2 eggs. Easy enough, right? And by the way, if you're looking for this recipe, you can get it at Super Ron's in Pulaski. They have it right there for you. So at this point, you just want to use a mixer. And the cake mix looks chocolate, but once you mix it up, the dry cake mix, it becomes this gorgeous red color, and that's why it's perfect for the holidays. Gotta have Christmas cookies for Santa, right? These would be perfect. Also great for a Christmas cookie exchange, treats to send to the kids' school, treats to bring into the office. You can whip these up the night before in no time. So you just want to beat this until it just comes together. I'm going to do it another minute or two. Still see some crumblies in there. Okay, that looks great. My daughter Ireland is taking finals this week. Riley's all done with his, my college guy, but my daughter Ireland it's stressful. So it's nice to have some cookies to send her to school with, or after she comes home, after the test taking, to have a little treat for her when she comes home. And like I say, you can whip these up in no time. No one needs to know how easy these work unless you feel like sharing. Then that's fine with me. But if you don't feel like sharing, you don't need to tell them it started with a box cake mix. So at this point, we're going to use a cookie scoop, and depends on how big you want them, the size scoop that you're going to do. So you want to spread these out, though, because they do spread a little bit. Probably get a couple more on there. Oven temperature 350. Now here's the little trick to these. I like to flatten these babies out a little bit. So what I do is I take a glass or a glass ramekin. Oh, Anne's got me one right here. And you spray, this dough is very, very sticky. So I spray the bottom of a glass, or in this case a ramekin, and just give them a slight press down. And then they're going to get a nice round shape. You can kind of help them with your fingers if they're not as round as you'd like. And then they bake up very, very quickly, 5 to 7 minutes. So into the oven, these are going to go. And then you want them to completely cool. And we're going to do a quick, fun dress up. So here they are once they come out of the oven. They kind of get this crackling look, and they're this gorgeous red color. Super, super pretty. But those look pretty, and you could certainly frost them with a cream cheese frosting, which would be great. You can make your own homemade, or you can buy a can of cream cheese frosting and frost the cookies that way. Maybe put some sprinkles on them. But here's what I like to do. You can take white chocolate chips or these white little discs. I'm going to pop this into the microwave for just about 30 seconds or so until they get nice and melty. And then I'm just going to cut the corner and do a quick little drizzle on these. So these are going to look like you got them at a fancy bakery. When the reality that they came out of a box cake mix, this recipe is that easy. So I just quickly want to melt those. If you're doing white chocolate chips, I think these discs melt really well in the microwave, but white chocolate chips, I really like to do that with the double boiler method. You can try and make, every chocolate chip is a little bit different, the different brands, so sometimes I have trouble and they separate, so these discs work really nicely though. But white chocolate chips do indeed work. Another 30 seconds. And then you don't have to have a fancy piping bag for these. Really, just a baggie works great, and we're going to cut the corner off, and I'll show you how we drizzle these to decorate, so bear with me now. Later, I guess are we doing some holiday decorating at my house a little later? I think we're going to do the outdoor planters at my house, which are unbelievable this year. The coolest idea that you could do at your house too. Okay, so the chocolate is now nice and melty. And the nice thing about it is you can just melt it right there. And then just cut the corner of the bag, a real little cut into the corner of the baggie. And then I just do a little drizzle on these cookies. And they look so pretty. And then just let that milk or the white chocolate harden a little bit. And there you go, red velvet cookies from a box cake mix. Who knew it was that easy? And they're so good. And we'll put the recipe on our website. You can also pick it up at any at the Super Runs grocery store in Pulaski. So stay with us. I'm going to continue drizzling, and we will be right back.